Yes, and Man United have been beaten today by a stupid goal, stupid mistake from De Gea, and we're going to have to talk about it. We're going to have to talk about it. But United were beaten today by a goal from Ben Rama. De Gea, listen, he's been a good servant to United for all these years, but we're going to have to talk about replacing De Gea in this show. Mistake from De Gea. Other than that, West Ham's midfield completely crushed and squeezed our midfield. We're gonna have to. Do you know what? We're gonna have to talk about Christian Eriksen, who, like he has been the last few games, he's been completely off the pace. We're gonna have to talk about United's attack. We're not scoring goals. We're not scoring goals, guys, and it's a concern. Is top four now a threat? Because Liverpool are right behind us. They're right behind us. And if we don't start winning games very soon, we will also be the bottle jobs. We will also be the bottle jobs, and we can't call Arsenal bottle jobs. We were out-battled today by West Ham. Out-battled, and there is a lot to talk about. I'm not in a good mood. I've looked at the game, I've watched the game, I've analysed it. Grab yourself a drink, grab yourself a coffee, grab yourself a flipping hard drink, grab yourself some liquor if you want, a smoke. Do what you need to do. As usual, guys. If you're not... Smash the like, turn on the notifications, and if you haven't yet subscribed, please subscribe below. We're going to have a good little chat right now, as we always do after every United game. A little debrief, analysis of the game, what went right, what went wrong, what we saw, and have a chat. Today, I'm very annoyed today. Let's start, as usual, by mentioning very quickly the lineup. I wasn't surprised with the back four. The back four is the same back four, apart from the fact that Dalot has started as left back the last few games, but it's good to see Malacia have a run out. But the back four, apart from that, was a back four that I expected. As I've said in many videos previously, it looks like Maguire is now the fifth choice centre back, which I think he should be because he lacks the mobility to play in the highest level in the Premier League. As simple as that. So that's fine. The midfield three, I'm fine with the midfield three. However, I have been saying recently that I'm very curious of why Eriksen has been starting game after game after game ahead of Fred, especially in the games where I think high energy and high intensity is required. I still notice my manager, or Ten Hag, has picked Eriksen ahead of Fred all the time. And while Eriksen, I think, is a better player technically than Fred, I can't help think, you know what, in some of these games, it might have been better to start Fred. But anyway, Eriksen, Bruno, Casemiro, you can argue, is our best midfield three technically anyway, with the top three of Weghorst starting with Rashford and Bruno. Now, I wouldn't have started Weghorst, I would have started Martial, but I understand why we might need to rotate given Martial's injury record and given the fact that sometimes you might need to play differently. I don't know. So I'm fine with that, but now that we've mentioned the lineup, whatever lineup we put out, and whatever stars, whatever players we put out, United should have enough to beat this West Ham team. This West Ham team is not that good. It isn't. So let's talk about the game now. Let's talk about the game and what happened. The first few minutes, it weren't that bad. We didn't start too badly. I remember Bruno dragging a shot wide after a good Antony run. I remember Antony shooting wide as well after a Weghorst assist. So we had a few shots, at the start of the game. So we started lively. Both teams started lively. Bruno, I noticed, moved more to the left of the front three. Rashford played more up front of the front three, while Weghorst moved further back and played more as a number 10, sort of a midfielder. And we've seen that in the past. We have seen that in other matches, and it has worked well, but it's also not worked well. We've seen it worked really well, and we've also seen it worked really badly. And I've seen it against Liverpool where we got slapped 7-0 playing the exact same way because Weghorst is not midfielder. He's not mobile or nimble, and he's not able to just cover the spaces that we need him to cover. That's a problem with making him drop deep and playing in that number 10 position. But that's how we play today. Like I said, we played that way before. And today it worked okay in the first 15 minutes, let's say. 15, 20 minutes. Because when United eventually, and this is how I think Ten Hag wants us to play, and this is how perhaps you see Arsenal and Man City play, but when United eventually got their defenders up towards the halfway line and squeezed West Ham and started playing in a smaller area, let's say, rather than a wider area, that's when we started to see Casemiro and Eriksen and Bruno come to life and, get a few touches here and there and pass the ball, but without penetrating. But at least you can see that we were more comfortable on the ball, and at least we can see that what perhaps maybe Ten Hag is trying to do, but it wasn't enough. It wasn't enough. We didn't do enough, and it didn't take long for West Ham to score. And this is where we're going to have to talk about it, guys, because David de Gea has been a servant for United for a long time. And his deficiencies, the things that he's lacked as a goalkeeper, he's always lacked as a goalkeeper. His presence has never been there. He's always lacked it. His ability to come for crosses, his ability to play with his feet, and even though he can stop the shots with his feet, his ability to pass out from the back and play football, let's say, is lacking. And those things have always lacked and always been lacking. And some reason, I guess, because he's saved loads of shots and we've been playing counter-attacking football for the last 5-6 years. We haven't been on top, so he's faced a lot of shots, and he's always been a good shot stopper, and his good shot stopping has maybe clouded some of his weaknesses. But now as football continues to develop, his weaknesses are becoming so in front of your face, so forward, so present, so in your face, so evident, that we're going to have to talk about the fact that we need at least someone to challenge him. And now people have been talking about this for the last few years, and we've had people like Henderson and so on and so forth. But when I say challenge him, I mean somebody who can literally say, listen, I am better than you, and it's only a matter of time before everyone sees it. Somebody who can play with the ball at the, because the thing is, guys, we all know, and we all should know, that the goalkeeper is probably the most important position, right? If you've got no confidence in your goalkeeper, if your goalkeeper starts to get shaky, we've all seen it, starts to get rocky, if he starts to kick the ball out, if you know that your goalkeeper is not good with the ball at his feet, that lack of confidence is felt throughout the whole team. It means the defenders is nervous, the centre back's nervous, the right back is a bit nervous, then the centre mid's a bit nervous. Then it's felt throughout the whole team. You can't, and it's the same thing with Maguire. When we play with Harry Maguire, you can tell the players play differently. We play so nervously because we are nervous, and he's our captain and he's our leader. So as good as David de Gea has been, and he's not, you can still argue he's not the main issue, but considering that, listen, I'd rather have a goalkeeper, right, who is a 7 out of 10 in every aspect: shot stopping, distribution, comfortable at corners, I don't know, whatever, right? Penalty saving, being able to throw the ball, or I don't know, whatever. I'd rather him be just 7 out of 10 rather than David de Gea, who's like a 9 out of 10 at shot stopping and a 3 out of 10 at ball distribution. I don't need an amazing goalkeeper at anything, at any one criteria. I need someone who's just good, solid at everything. And I think that's what United need. But yeah, that's my little take on David de Gea. I think he's been a good servant for United, but at least I'm hoping Ten Hag's seen enough this season to say, listen, I hope we get a bit of money this summer, whatever happens, it gets sold, we get bought, whatever. I hope we get a bit of money and we get another goalkeeper. We had the chance after that. Antony hit the post. Then Lindelof had a handball and they had a penalty shout themselves. Then Eriksen had a shot that was blocked around the 46th minute. Antony in this first half was probably Man United's biggest threat, I would say. I don't know. You can tell me, guys, if he was yours. I would say he was our biggest threat down the right. But we didn't score. We didn't put the ball in the net. And similar to the game before and the game before that, we had chances. Antony had chances. We had chances to score, but we just didn't put the ball in the back of the net. We didn't move the ball quick enough. And today, especially in the first half, we weren't good enough. Second half, not much changed. An Antonio goal was ruled out for foul on David de Gea. And once again, this foul on David de Gea came from a West Ham corner, 51st minute, whipped in. And, okay, to be honest, it was a foul. But once again, I want my goalkeeper, and this has been something that David de Gea has never been good at, and we've just got used to it. We've just got used to the fact that, listen, this goalkeeper is going to stay in his 6-yard box or whatever, stay on his touchline, and he's not going to come for the ball because we just got used to it. Like when we watch other teams play, their goalkeepers dominate that area. David de Gea has never done that. And I don't know, maybe in another game, another referee would have let the goal stand. I mean, I do think it was a foul, just about a foul. But once again, I think that showed us, all of us, or reminded us, let's say it reminded us, the deficiencies that De Gea's always had, and we've just got used to it, you know? We got used to the fact that this goalkeeper is basically incomplete. He's like top heavy. He's like really exceptional at, shot stopping sometimes, but he loses concentration every now and again and he lets the ball roll under his arms or something. So he's good at shot stopping most of the times unless he's, not focused. And we never know when he's going to lose focus. He just loses focus randomly. But there are big holes in his game, in the modern game of what we need him to do that he doesn't have. Antony, or should I say Martial, came on for Weghorst, and I think this was a good idea. I would have started, like I said, with Martial anyway, but not much really changed. And Weghorst, while he does a lot of leg work, he does a lot of honest, I'm not even going to call it honest, let's say he does a lot of running in midfield. You got to think to yourself, he's been brought in as a striker. So a striker is supposed to score goals, but this guy's been played in midfield because he can't score goals. And he doesn't score goals. And it's just crazy that I know Rashford scored a lot of goals, but Rashford doesn't give you performances. Not many of the players, apart from the guys, the Champions League winners and the World Cup winners that we have, like Martinez and Varane and Casemiro, who usually give us performances. We have a lot of players who don't really give us 90-minute performances, but can sometimes give you goals. But when it really, really matters today, those players were missing today. And Weghorst, like I said, he doesn't give you goals, but he just gives you a lot of running, and that's just not good enough. And when Martial came on, he dropped deep, he tried to link the play, he tried to do his thing. But once again, towards the end of the game, when opportunities came his way, when that, he was I wouldn't say he was put through. And to be honest, the defender slid. So I don't think he could have gone across the goalkeeper. So he probably had to lift it. So you can argue that was only half a chance. But the header that he had as well from the corner, you think that Harry Kane or someone else would have just scored that. And it's not just Martial, it's Rashford. Rashford had opportunities, and Rashford's decision-making. The thing about United is that we have highlight reel players. We have the Brunos and we have Rashfords that don't play well. Like I said, don't give us performances, but will give us goals. Like Rashford has been the beneficiary of us creating chances for a while, and he scored goals. But even when he was scoring goals, guys, we were looking past the fact that he wasn't giving us 90-minute performances. He wasn't a constant threat. He just managed to score goals. And now that his goals are dried up and all we have is just his performances, then we're like, oh, he's not performing that well. He's not performing that. No, I mean, this is how he has been performing for a long time. It's just that he scored goals, and that's why I always say, listen, we can talk about goals and assists, and of course, we need to score goals to win matches. Yes, obviously, but the best way to score goals is by performing. If you perform, you will score goals. If you perform, you will score goals. That's it. So performances are always better. You perform well, you will score. You know. So rather than saying like you need ingredients to make the cake, you can't just have a cake. You need to make the cake first. So yeah, we just need players who can give you performances. And today we just never got that guy who can from nowhere or just smash the goal with ball in from the edge of the box. We just didn't have that. So, and thing is, United's performances for a while have not been great. They haven't been great, and we've been saying on this channel that, yes, we watch with a biased lens because we're Man United fans, but overall, I try not to be biased. I try to watch football very pragmatically and logically, and try not to be too sucked into the emotion of it, and try to enjoy the football, the actual, the movement, the shapes, the tactics, and all of the rest of it. And I've been saying for a long while, United have not been playing well, and we haven't played since Martinez and Varane got injured. We have not been playing well, and we cannot just blame it on two players because Arsenal haven't had I think Saliba for a while, and before that, Gabriel I think might have been injured. I'm not quite sure. Correct me if I'm wrong. So we can't just blame it on two players, but those two players have been missing, or since those two players have gone missing, we've just looked not the same team, and this is now leading on to Eriksen. Let's talk about Eriksen. Once again, in my previous video, I said that Eriksen's performances have been falling. Even before he was injured, his performances have been falling. And I just think that the pace of the speed and the pace of the Premier League have now caught up with Eriksen. I would go as far as to say that I don't think Eriksen from now on should be in the first team. We need to get a midfielder who can progress the ball from defense to attack. We need to get a progressive footballer. We need to get someone who can run with the ball, who can move the ball, who can dribble, who can carry the ball, who can turn, who's press resistant. We kind of need a De Jong. That's what we're missing. Fred was supposed to be that player, but he lacks the quality to really do it at the highest level. And yeah, to Eriksen, I've seen enough of Eriksen, especially towards the end of the season, to know that he's been good. At the beginning of the 4-0 to against Brentford and whatnot, he wasn't that good. Then he started getting into his mojo, and then he gave us really good performances around the middle of the season, towards Christmas. Really good performances. Since he's been, but 2 or 3 sort of performances before he got injured, and since he's been back, he's been off the pace. And he was one of the reasons why we lost against Sevilla, as well as the Maguire and De Gea nonsense. So yeah, I mean, today wasn't a good day. There wasn't really any good, apart from the 2 centre backs. Shaw and Lindelof can say that they didn't really do much wrong. Perhaps, today was not a good day. The attack, we're not scoring goals at all. There is no cohesion in our attack anymore. I think Ten Hag needs to decide what he wants to do, because we started seeing Ten Hag ball, glimpses of Ten Hag ball towards the middle of the season when we started playing really well, and I think we peaked against Barcelona. But since then, it's almost as if the players have regressed towards some sort of counter-attacking sort of way of football, and we're just not moving the ball quick enough. We're taking 3 touches rather than 2 touches. We're finding it hard to break down teams. We're not scoring goals. I think that's the main thing. When we're having our opportunity to score goals, especially right at the beginning of games, we're not taking our opportunities. And when we usually take our opportunities and score, we usually go on to win, and that usually settles us down. And we're not doing that. So our attack needs improving, and I do like our attackers. I do like Antony, Sancho, Martial, but these guys are not scoring goals, and we need a striker this summer. And as much as I like Martial, we should keep him as backup. But we need a Harry Kane. We need someone who can put the ball in the net. We do. Scoring goals is an issue, but Today wasn't a good day. There's no man of the match for me. I'm not gonna say, tell you guys a man of the match. What do you guys think of the game? Are we the bottlers? Are we gonna bottle top four? Are we? Let me know. Because listen, Liverpool, they're like hounds, bloodhounds right now, and they are just on a roll right now. We gotta be careful. We gotta be careful because this season could end in disaster very quickly. We need some of these players, and the more I look at it, some of these players are simply not good enough, and we need a lot of investment this summer. We do. What do you guys think? Please, guys, comment below. Let me know your thoughts on the game. I've had my chill. I've poured out, my thoughts of the game onto you guys. Let me know what you think. Give me some knowledge. Let me know your thoughts. What do we need to do? What went wrong today? It wasn't just one player to blame, but De Gea, once again, it set the tone. It set the tone today, didn't it? It set the damn tone. We have a lot of work to do. I thought top four was secure, but listen, danger. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for joining. I hope you guys enjoyed. Comment below. Let me know. Share, like, and subscribe. Make sure you share this video. Let's start having this conversation. I'll be back after, I'll give you guys my reaction, my thoughts after every United game as usual. May the fan base, may the community continue to grow. Have a good bank holiday if you guys were interested in it. If you're not